Hi, welcome to How to Make Money from Pay-Per-Click. My name's Johnny and I'm one of the trainers at Access Centre at Castle College in Nottingham. We are a training centre that deals with e-business and closely affiliated to De Montfort University in Leicester. Okay, this is Pay-Per-Click and I'm dressed as a Victorian businessman, and there's a reason for that. Before Halloween was turned into the kind of ghoul fest that it is today, it was actually a pre-Christian festival. Druid, Celts, Picts, all these sort of people who believed that on Samhain, pronounced Samhain, that the physical world and the spirit world for one night aligned and were very close, and you could almost step from one to the other. And they also believed that on that night you shouldn't lock your door or your windows, because there was a chance that your relatives from a long time ago and friends that have passed away would come back for the night to visit you. Okay, I've come back as this chap. This is James Herbert Kay, which is my great-great-great-granddad. James Herbert Kay was a contemporary of Marks and Spencer, who set up penny bazaars, originally in sort of, I think, Newcastle and then into Manchester, which was a sort of pound stretcher of their day. Okay, I've chosen to come back then, following the sort of traditions of Samhain, to revisit Access Centre and my great-great-great-grandson, Johnny, and to help him understand the potential of this splendid informational superhighway, because some people are not really taking advantage of everything that the web has got to offer. But in the past we had to advertise by putting an advertising board on someone and getting them to march up and down, or we had to create an advert in the hope that somebody looked at it in a newspaper. Well, the internet is a kind of unique thing really. With search engines, they have self-selected, they have shown themselves to be in the zone to buy a particular product. They've typed, I want some flowers delivering by post. They just put it into a search engine, so they're obviously looking for it. So it should be quite a unique opportunity. However, a lot of mistakes are made with pay-per-click search, paying to get to the top of search engines, and it's quite easy to spend an awful lot of money and not get too many results. So let's try and explore. Okay, first of all, we have TV, a splendid device invented by Sir John Logie Baird. And in the late 1950s, 1956, in Britain, we set up the ITV, which for the next 50 years became the main way that we advertise things and program people and brand conditioned them. This year, in fact, this month, Google is now bigger than ITV. So Google is now bigger than the biggest advertising channel, the biggest TV station in Britain. And this is quite a defining moment, because most people say, oh, I never click on the sponsored links in Google. Oh, I always use the organic results, the free stuff on the left-hand side. I never click on adverts. Well, actually, enough of you must be doing it, because it's actually a $1.3 billion, £1.3 billion pound industry. So it's now past Google in. Google has now passed ITV on its way to being a really significant force. So this is all pay-per-click industry, paid search. Okay, what's this thing? It is, of course, Bagatelle, if you can see it. What's Bagatelle? It's a game, obviously, that you twang. It's a bit like pinball, an early version of pinball. You twang a ball, it comes right round, you try and catch it in these bits. I'm going to try and basically make it the case that pay-per-click is a little bit like pinball. It's a little bit like you twang this ball upwards. You buy balls, you twang them up round, and you try and get enough of them to land in the bits that make the scores. Well, actually, your website's very similar, and Google AdWords is very similar. You work out the odds, so you try and stack the odds in your favour. How do you do that? By buying the clicks at the right kind of price, by creating a nice advert in Google that people are more likely to click on, are more likely to act on, and you then buy a lot of balls. So these are these click things, which can range from 10 pence up to £10 and more per click. Each click means that somebody's visited your website from Google. You try and steer the balls through the machine. So what you do is you buy a lot of clicks, which is buy a lot of visitors to your website. You try and steer the balls or the visitors through your machine, through your website, get to the bit where they're going to win, which is make an inquiry, place an order, something like that, whatever you want them to do. Okay, 8 steps to pay-per-click heaven then. How about this? There are 8 steps that we've identified. Target your key phrase, calculate traffic, estimate your return on your investment, build your landing experience, decide your tactics, develop a sticky, compelling message, launch and measure your campaign, learn, revise, and loop round and do it again. Subject of this video is just about that target your key phrase, calculate your traffic, estimate your return. That second section, once they've reached your website, how do you stack the odds in your favour, will be the subject of another video. Okay, there's this thing called long tail. Long tail is a theory developed by Chris Anderson, which is about the way that people make decisions and the purchasing habits of people are changing due to the web. But we've got this curve here, and if you look at the key phrase you want to be found under, are the words that you would like your website to be nice and sit highly in Google for. So we could say shoes. Let's say you're going to sell shoes. You're an online shoe shop. You've got shoes, men's shoes, and further down this curve again we've got Nike, red Nike men's running shoes. And I suppose further down here we would have something like size 7 red Nike men's running shoes. In other words, it gets more specific. The specificity increases as you come down this curve. But usually the amount of people looking for it gets less and less. You can imagine there's people with feet the size of mine, size 7, which is tiny. There's not too many people looking for men's size 7. Most are big manly 8s or 9s or 10s or something like that. Okay, as it comes down this curve here, what do you think happens to the likelihood that somebody is actually going to make a purchase? Contrast the word shoes generically with size 7 men's red Nike running shoes. Obviously, as you get further down here and become more specific, more buying signals are built into it. The word shoes suggests somebody's generally looking, they're in a research mode. The phrase size 7, certain kind of shoes, suggests that perhaps they're in a position to buy. Okay, when you choose your keywords you want to be found under, in other words, the words you're going to try and buy within Google competitively against other people, make sure that you choose the words that are specific and definite enough that they're quite likely to lead to a purchase. Okay, the next thing to do then, step 2, once you've identified your key phrase, which is step 1, you're now going to calculate the amount of traffic there is for that phrase. Obviously, as it becomes more specific, there's going to be less traffic involved. But it's important to know how much traffic there's likely to be so you can calculate how big your campaign's going to be. So the way to do that is with this system called Google AdWords. Now what I'm going to recommend is that Google AdWords is the main advertising system, these paid pay-per-click system. It's the main sponsored links with inside Google, and what it'll do is, I'll take you into it now, but what it'll do is allow you to research and look at how much traffic there is. This is a recent change on Google for marketeers amongst us, absolutely fantastic, because it allows us to see the average monthly search volume. So I've searched earlier on for bean bags, and surprising for me, about 1.2 million people per year in the UK search for bean bags. So we've got 110,000 average search volume. This is per month, and we times that up by 12. Okay, let's say you're going to be selling online flowers by post. So you're going to deliver flowers to people. So I'm going to stick in flowers by post, flowers space by space post, stick it in pages from the UK and press search like we always do. Okay, just to sort of clarify then, all these here, downwards on this left-hand side, are all what called organic or free listings. In other words, based on the quality of the website and various other characteristics and how long it's been there and how highly respected it is, you rise through the ranking of hundreds and possibly thousands of pages of results, eventually to these top positions. Just to give you a quick insight, this position alone, the first organic position, will get approximately 40% of all the results for flowers by post put together, which is quite incredible really. All the pages underneath the first page put together will account for only 10% of the traffic. So the results and the rewards for getting onto page 1 are just staggering. It's completely skewed towards the first page. So almost everybody picks a result off the first page and very few people bury any further down.